You're listening to Buffalo Means Business on News Radio 930 WBEN, and this is where we hear from the businesses and services available in the Buffalo area. If you'd like to be on the program, send me an email at randy.bushover@entercom.com. Joining me, Jim Cipriani, owner and president of Systems Personnel. And Jim, what you do at Systems Personnel is fairly specific in general, right?
So specific in general. Yeah, at Systems Personnel, we help people find jobs, and we improve people's lives by getting people jobs in the market.
And you're located where?
We're located in West Seneca, 4154 Seneca Street.
Pretty easy to get to.
Brand new building for Systems Personnel. We're real proud to be building out and continuing to grow.
And how many people do you have working for you in the job of getting people jobs?
Yeah, there's about 20 of us that work together to either get jobs or get people jobs.
And first off, the ultimate question would be kind of a broad view of 2019. What are things looking like?
2019 is going to be a hot year in the labor market. There's no doubt about it. Lots of hiring that's going on and lots of activity. It's going to be a challenging year because unemployment is so low. If you saw the December jobs report, the United States added 312,000 jobs, which was higher than expected. So it's going to be an active year in the job market. Clients are going to be having a tough time finding people, and the candidates, the employees, are going to also have an opportunity to find some opportunities. But those can be hidden here and there.
Well, since you mentioned that unemployment was definitely down in December, but always mindful of the fact that in certain instances, I think you're talking more about temporary jobs, so that may kind of fudge the numbers a little bit. Is that kind of the same thing that you're thinking or seeing?
No, unemployment's at a low. Although it was actually up a couple of points in December, it is still below 4%, which is as low as it's been since the 1960s. So it is across the board, whether it be direct hire or contract hire. The labor market is tight. It is difficult for clients to find good people to hire, and that's really what we're in the business of doing, is helping people find people they can't find on their own and making sure they're a good fit so that they stick.
And as you mentioned, a rather tight job market. So in that vein, what kind of jobs or opportunities are the biggest ones out there right now?
Well, at Systems Personnel, we cover the gambit of jobs, and the demand is really across the board. We concentrate an awful lot in white-collar professionals, but there's also quite a demand in blue-collar professionals. At Systems Personnel, we try not to be biased. We really partner with our client employers to help solve their problems and to find them people they can't find on their own. And for those candidates who are out there, as employees who are out there looking for jobs, they may think that they can find them, but there is a hidden job market that Systems Personnel has access to that these candidates just don't see. I just got off the horn right before I came in here with an owner of a company who we are hiring their chief financial officer, and that job never hit the market. So the candidates or the employees may think that it's an easy market to find a job in, and there are jobs out there, but not everybody's happily employed, and the good jobs oftentimes don't even make it onto the market, and that's what Systems Personnel concentrates in.
And what you do, even more specifically at Systems Personnel, is help both individuals and businesses, right? So you can come at it from different directions here.
Yeah, right on. Our mission at Systems Personnel is improving lives through employment, and that really goes on both sides of that equation, doesn't it? For the employers, we improve their life by finding them candidates they can't find on their own and making sure they're people that stick, they're the right people that match culturally. And for those employees who are out there looking for a job, there may be a lot of people out there in the market, but they're not happily employed. And so they oftentimes don't know where to go and look for a job. And so Systems Personnel will take those candidates and give them kind of rock star access to some of the area's most premier companies that they wouldn't have access to on their own. These poor people who are out there thinking that it's easy market to get a job in may find it easy to apply for jobs on the job boards, but 93% of those people who apply for a job never even hear back from their employers at all, not even know. So in our estimations at Systems Personnel, we're a secret weapon that both the employers can use because we can find people that others can't, and for the employees, Systems Personnel can help them find jobs that they might not be able to find on their own. And that's where we become kind of a perfect matchmaker, and that's how we improve lives at Systems Personnel.
Speaking with Jim Cipriani, who is owner and president of Systems Personnel. This is Buffalo Means Business on News Radio 930 WBEN. And curious, because you had mentioned in a previous response that these openings sometimes don't even hit the market. Is there some secret? I don't want to say deal because that makes it sound shady, and it's certainly not, I'm sure. But how is it that you come to find out about these things before it gets out to, say, the general public?
Yeah, well, fortunately, Systems Personnel has been in the market for 22 years. We're a trusted supplier of people for Fortune 500 and publicly traded companies all the way down to family-owned businesses. So a lot of it just has to be to do with the amount of time we've been in the market, we've placed thousands of people, and that just kind of comes back. So busy employers who are having trouble finding candidates on their own comes to Systems Personnel because we can help them find people and make their choice difficult. So they don't want to wade through. If you put the job boards are dead. If you put an advertisement on a job board, you're going to get barraged with a bunch of non-qualified candidates. And busy employers and managers don't have the time to get through that, and they really want a specialty company that understands what they're looking for, and that's what Systems Personnel does. Find them their technical skills, find them a good match on their personality skills, and that's how we find a match that sticks. There's an old adage in the industry that we hire people for what they know and we fire them for who they are. And it's true. So Systems Personnel is really concentrating on, finding both what they know, but making sure that they are the right person and the right match for the employers. And that's why they come to us, and that's why a lot of those positions never make it to the market.
Is there a specific area in Western New York that you're seeing a lot more action in terms of openings and places that you're fulfilling job opportunities for people? Mindful of the fact that downtown Buffalo continues to be forever changing over at this point.
It's fantastic to see Buffalo rising. So, I grew up in Buffalo and went to school in the 70s and 80s, and we have seen a complete transition. Systems Personnel has been running through the 90s and the 2000s, and it is fantastic to see. So, our mission is improving lives through employment. We are super dedicated to feeding the community that we're part of, which helps us all. The labor market is an incredibly important part of this market, and our little niche where we're finding our role in helping this community is making sure that the candidates and the clients, the employers, are well matched, that these candidates are well vetted and match these opportunities, and that the employers are finding the folks who are underemployed, the passive candidates who are not out there looking. Because any community that has a vibrant business base needs to be able to help find qualified employees to help build those businesses. In the absence of that, the economy really doesn't grow. So we find this niche of helping these people find the folks they might not find on their own, and helping the candidates find the jobs they may not find on their own, making sure it's a good match. And in that way, the companies thrive and survive.
And it has to be, on some level, a little bit difficult for you. Otherwise, other people would be, trying to do the same thing that you are, because you're talking about such a disparity in job types. I mean, everything from a line cook maybe at a restaurant to a healthcare provider or someone taking care of someone in a long-term care facility. So you've got all these different job opportunities. Then is there anything? Well, I guess I started out with asking if it's difficult. Is it difficult to have to maintain or be able to have a kind of thumb on all of these different opportunities?
Yes, of course, and Systems Personnel really works to specialize in these white-collar professionals, as we say. So we think that the back office, so to speak, the finance professionals, the information technology professionals, the supply chain professionals, the engineering professionals are the lifeblood of the organization. So we don't say that we hire lower-end customer service and whatnot. Our clients are typically coming to Systems Personnel for more difficult to find strategic positions, or there's a publicly traded company that's using us right now to build a contract workforce to push several of their strategic projects forward. And that's what they come to Systems Personnel for. So we do not say that we can keep our finger on the market. However, we do try and help whomever it is that needs help. So as part of our Improving Life Through Employment mission, Systems Personnel has a friend and family program where for our clients or whomever we're trying to help, we're glad to provide resume advice, job search tips, the use of our contacts. We'll even help people prepare for an interview so that they can put their best foot forward. That's all part of improving lives at Systems Personnel and giving back to this community.
And certainly one of the more recent examples was just before the end of last year, New Era in Derby. The plant is going to be taking its manufacturing jobs and go to Miami with them. Now, that leaves a couple of questions. Not everyone is going to be able to or want to make a move, which I guess is possibly on the table for some. So what about the rest that are still here, presumably looking for jobs, and how many other fields are tailored to what it is that they did there?
Yeah, fortunately, that was a manufacturing operation, and those jobs are in demand, although a sewing job at a hat manufacturer may differ from a CNC programmer at a more high-tech manufacturer. But, no matter what, just because the job market is tight doesn't mean that these employees who get laid off are going to be able to easily or readily find a position. And that's where Systems Personnel comes in, is to really kind of help advise, coach, direct, and put in touch with the right people so that they can find the job that they really need. But it's going to be a long-term problem. We're in a kind of a short-term labor crisis right now, which is why we like to say you need a partner like Systems Personnel. But demographically, this problem is going to continue. I read last night that there are 50 million baby boomers who are going to hit the age of 65 in the next 10 years. That is the amount of people coming out of the labor market. That there are only 20 million people, just less than 20 million people in New York State. That means in the next 10 years, the United States is going to lose the equivalent of 2+ New York states in employees. So this is going to be a problem that just persists. And I think that anyone there is going to need a secret weapon and someone who cares about doing the right job, and that's what Systems Personnel is all about when it comes to the labor market.
Now, if they want to get a hold of Systems Personnel, best way, phone call, website, what?
Systemspersonnel.com. Come and see our leadership tips and blog. We're here to help you in any way we can. We hope to be able to improve your life through employment.
And it helps if you can spell personnel with 2 N's, right?
SYSTEMSPERSONNEL.com.
See, I got the 2 N's
Thank you
right.
for that.
I was a 6th grade spelling champ at Oak Orchard Elementary, but that's a long time ago. Jim, always a pleasure to have you in. Thanks for stopping by again.
Thanks, Randy.
Jim Cipriani, owner and president of Systems Personnel. This is Buffalo Means Business on News Radio 930 WBEN. 930 WBEN. 930.